I work mostly with their teachers, helping their teachers understand what they need to do to help students be able to communicate with a hearing loss and understand information. I also work with the technology needs of a student. Help if the hearing aids aren't working, clean them, change the tubes, if they need tube changes, put new molds on. Help with a hearing assistive technology like an FM system, something with a remote mic. On the other end of the spectrum, I work directly with students in the areas of language. A lot of students with hearing loss have delays in their language because they weren't exposed to it as much. They might have delays in social skills. And then also academics. There might be some specialized needs that a teacher like me would provide to help kids catch up that use sign language. So I would be the person that would help them learn sign language and also arrange for an interpreter, for an ASL interpreter in class, and help the teacher know how to work with an interpreter. The most common hearing aids that I encounter are behind the ear hearing aids. And so that consists of a large piece that kind of sits behind the ear, and then a little tube and an ear mold. And there's also a Baha hearing aid, which is a bone-anchored hearing aid, so B-A-H-A, Baha for short. The Baha is directly implanted into the mastoid bone, and you will see when the hearing aid is on, it is a vibration-based device. So instead of sound going through the air and vibrating the eardrum, it bypasses that whole system and directly vibrates the mastoid bone. So first a doctor, an ENT, does an examination of the physical anatomy of a person and identifies what is intact, if there's a part that's not functioning in a way that will allow a person to hear. And then the audiologist looks at the actual hearing perception of the person. Conductive hearing loss means that sound is not getting through the eardrum or the middle ear. Something is not conveying the sound wave. And sometimes that occurs when a student doesn't have an outer ear at all. And a sensory neural loss means that the inner ear is not working. So the inner ear looks like a snail shell, so if that cochlea is not working, that's a sensory neural loss. Or if the nerve, the auditory nerve that attaches to the cochlea that communicates to the brain, that would also be a sensory neural loss.
I consider myself deaf and hard of hearing, but mostly hard of hearing, considering I wear my hearing aids the most, and I'm only deaf without my hearing aids. I have moderate to severe bilateral hearing loss, and it's sensory neural hearing loss. So my inner ear doesn't work properly because the hairs on my cochlea are damaged. It was like that from birth. I was 3. They thought I was a normal toddler, doing normal toddler things, like just not answering and just like wandering around, normal toddler things. But my mom was confused as to why I wasn't answering back, so she got worried and called my doctor, called my dad, and took me to the doctor. And then they found out that I was deaf at 3. I got my first pair of hearing aids when I was 3 as well. I find it frustrating when people don't take into consideration of how loud they are. Even if they don't know that there is someone in the room or someone around them that has a hearing problem, they still don't take in consideration of how their volume is. A part of me wants to say that I can't really say anything on that because I have been told that I am also very loud, but I have not really an excuse, but a reason as to why I am, because I can't hear my volume while hearing people are able to. If it's one person that's being loud and it bothers me, then if at all possible, I'll just leave or go somewhere else or something like that. If it's more than one person, like a crowd of people or whatever, I would say it depends on where I am. Because in some cases you can't really control that, but say in a classroom or at home or something, those places you can control to an extent. But like if it's just like out in public or whatever and it's too loud, there's nothing I can really do about that besides like take out my hearing aids. But I don't like doing that, especially while I'm in public.
That's not really safe, you know?
Yeah, it's not safe to not hear.
Mm-hmm.
I've been told by a lot of people that they wish that they could do that, even if it was just like for a second. Like they'd be like, oh, I wish I could just take out. It irritates me a little bit. I mean, that's the only, I do everything else like a normal human. The only difference is that I have the capability of, you know, choosing not to hear. It doesn't affect driving, it doesn't affect going places, it doesn't affect doing anything else in your daily life. The only thing it affects is not being able to hear, not being able to communicate like a hearing person. You can text, you can write, you can use sign language, you can read lips. When communicating with a hearing person, what I would prefer for them to do is more specifically look at me. Because yeah, I can hear you with my hearing aids, I can hear what you're saying, but I need someone to look at me so that way I can read their lips. Because I've been doing that since I was 3, and like it makes it easier to understand. Because hearing and understanding is different. At work, my hearing aids died, and I forgot my charger for them, and I didn't bring my backup hearing aids with me. So I spent like 3.5 hours at work not hearing anything. In the dining area, it was quiet, so quiet. It was actually making me anxious. I hated it. I actually hated it. In the kitchen, it was louder because of like all the dishes clacking and the cooks talking and listening to music and everything like that. When I was in the kitchen, it was harder for me to make out what was going on. I knew what was going on because I was paying attention to my surroundings more than I usually would be with my hearing aids in, but I couldn't make out what exactly it was coming from. I've had to explain to people that the way that I hear things is louder than an average person, than what an average person hears. Because, I mean, it has to be in order for me to hear it, in order for a hard of hearing person to hear it. Oh, yes.
Like, it's a different experience on a sensory level.
Yeah, like, because it messes with my sensory issues, autism-wise, because I can get overstimulated with it easily, especially with the hearing aids that I have now, because the amplifiers are a lot better than my other ones, and they pick up more sounds. If I turn them up, I can hear a lot more. Like I can hear the lights humming, I can hear the fans and the vents and, you know, that type of stuff. It bugs me so much. Like I genuinely don't understand how hearing people do it. I don't.
Oh, this isn't important, you can ignore it. But with listening through hearing aids, it is not possible. I mean, they're getting better with their programming, so you can set up different programs, but it doesn't necessarily filter out or ignore. Your brain has to process all the sounds equally. It's different.
Yeah.
It's a different mechanism, and that's the biggest challenge, one of the biggest challenges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's really a lot.
It is a lot. And I think a lot of people who are hearing, they think once you get your hearing aids, you're just like everybody else.
No, it's really not.
It's very different.
It's very different. Because, like, you can have other problems with you besides hearing, or you could just have hearing loss. I can't speak for everyone, but for right now, for me personally, I deal with autism. Like, I'm autistic. I have anxiety and depression. Like I have other things just besides hearing loss, but it all ties together.
Yeah.
Because of my hearing loss, I have a fear of silence. I hate it when it's quiet. I don't like loud noises. That also ties in with my autism, because noises make me overstimulated. People are loud. People overstimulate me. So like, but even if you just have hearing loss, you can get overwhelmed by the noises, the people, and the lights, or whatever you're hearing. As a hard of hearing person, you can get overstimulated by it.
And it also takes a different effort. Listening and understanding what people say takes a different level of effort.
Yes, it's very hard to like sit there and communicate with someone, even if it's just for like 1 minute or like hours. Like sitting there and communicating with someone, it takes so much effort to understand what they're saying, to like, or if you lip read, to like sit there and read their lips and like try to like make out what words or letters they're saying. It's so hard and it's so exhausting.